没有走完的路不会是终点，故事的走向是自己选择的坚持。
这个故事的开头还算不错，相信过程，相信自己走过的路。
那些最激动人心的冒险，从来不是单枪匹马的挑战。
과거는 잊으세요. 내일이 새로운 시작입니다. 내 경기가 새로운 도전입니다.
我们愿意为胜利付出许多代价，改变只是其中之一。
어떤 사람이든 현재에 만족하지 않고 어떠한 사람이든 제자리 걸음을 하지 않는다.
过去的荣耀就存留在记忆中，这一抹红色要照亮未来。
为之付出的心血越多，收获的果实才越甘甜。
赛场上的事怎能尽如人意？我只想追求无愧于心。
保持微笑，胜利总会专顾你。
在尝过赢得一切的滋味之后，你绝对不会甘心做第二名。
尖矛和利刃是勇者的武器，也有最坚硬的盾和扬起风帆的大旗。
如果翻不过这座山， 他们就听不到你的故事。
这个故事的结局将由我们来谱写。为了无悔，为了胜利，为了站在世界这边。
Hello and welcome to another day, another week of the LPL. We're now in week 8. We've got just a couple of weeks coming your way until we get to playoffs. So now the other regions currently getting to their playoffs, but we've still got more games to play, including a week 11 as well. That's right, folks. We have another week of LPL action, the first one in history, because also we have Asian Games happening just a couple of weeks from now. So that's pushed everything along just a little bit. You can see the teams that we have at the start of the day, FPX and TOP actually in their green rooms getting ready. You just saw Cat just a second ago. You can see people trying to plug in a USB. Got it first time, incredible. You can see that person's got a pink keyboard. That person's got a ring, fantastic. Oh, it's FPX, and oh, it's us. Hello, my name is Richard Poscamp. I'm here with Barento Raz Mohammed. Hello, Barento Raz Mohammed. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you, Richard Rolls. Your name is Rolls now. Your name is Rolls.
Yeah, thanks. that's our power couple name, Raz. That's Rolls. There you go. I think my one with Frost was Frost. I think Freak suggested that one, and then there was Pulsecure. There's some terrible suggestions, but come up with your own power couple names. Tweet that to @RazzlePlasma @Pulse. Make sure to get in with that one. And yeah, let's take a look at the standings. Let's actually get to some legal ends, shall we? Get away from this car crash. Anyways, so Rogue Warriors and EDG are going to be at the top of the conference there for the Western Conference. Then on the Eastern side, you're going to have Invictus Gaming, JD, RNG, the usual suspects, but who's that team, Raz, in second place in the Western Conference?
Oh, TOP. TOP, that's right. Week 8 is a hell of a drug. You get into week 8 and so much stuff actually happens. TOP leapfrogging EDG, Vici almost taking their second victory versus RNG. But to your point, yes, EDG is in third place. And it's not solidified either. Western Conference, the only team that's actually solidified in their placement, or at least just in the playoffs alone, Rogue Warriors. TOP, EDG, Snake, FPX, OMG, all of these teams are still in the running with a few weeks left to playoffs. So 4th place, the race is on, and today will be a big decider of that.
Oh yeah, that's the key thing to me, Raz, is because this isn't like week 2, week 3. This isn't near the end of the split now. So these are basically going to be the standings unless we have major upsets coming in the last 2 weeks of play. But our second place team in the Western Conference, TOP, will be taking on FPX for our first series of the day. We'll be following up with EDG and some WE. And last on the menu will be Rogue Warriors and OMG to round out our day.
So 3 series, but really tune in as these games come along. EDG versus WE, 6th series losing streak right now for EDG. So a long time ago, you look towards this series, you're like, hey, this is pretty competitive.
Headline match.
This split, you're like, EDG just should smash them. And then today, I don't know anymore, Pulse.
I don't know. I hear a lot of people saying that WE are going to take this matchup, and I'm like, excuse me, that's probably true, actually. 6-game losing streak.
So I'm not going to be here for that set, of course. That should be Clement manning the desk for that one.
Indeed,
I think it's going to go to. I think it's going to go to 3 games immediately. I feel like WE's early games have been really strong. I know that discussion will happen later on, and EDG just not having it. I don't know what's wrong with them. We're going to find out if they're going to shape up later tonight.
Yeah, they've already been overtaken by TOP, who are currently in 2nd place. And speaking of TOP, we might as well talk about them a little bit more, because 2nd place, Raz, 2nd place in week 8 of play here, and they're on track not only to make playoffs, but have a 2nd place seeding. How about that?
Going into the split, no one really praised TOP just because from last split, they aren't doing too hot. Cross-conference, the worst we've seen from them in their losing streak, but then shaping up, bringing in BSY as a coach, and then the individual players, even though their starting roster has been inconsistent. Moyu's been manning the play so far, but they've been bringing in Lies, of course, really early on in the split, Marin. But you can see what's been happening, what's been shaping up. The team fights from this team post 20 minutes has actually been incredibly strong from Cat, XX, and Moyu, as they've been incredible frontliners and giving a lot of space to Chocho and Korn to really play out. So I feel like their team fight's been really strong. Another outlier here, looking at the individual play from a lot of these players. Moyu has been known as a coin flip player in the top lane, consistently playing carries, but in terms of how his laning phase has gone, in the past, poorly. This split, phenomenally. In fact, he damage per minute, 2nd place of all top laners. And then if you look towards just his kill participation, once again 2nd place. Feels like he has taken such a massive step forward, where we've also said that XX has been the most improved player as a jungler as well. So individuals have been highlights for this team, and then on top of it, they're playing team fights as follow through.
For sure. I mean, XX, yeah, most improved, but he did definitely start at the bottom. Now he's at the top, so obviously that feels pretty good for him. Moyu in the top side, you're right. Coin flip, but now great in these team fights. Think of all those crispy Nara ultimates. And then you're probably like, well, they're just winning team fights against, you know, like people at the middle of the pack, people at the bottom of the pack. That's where they're picking up wins. We're just in cross-conference. We just saw right there photo evidence that they've managed to take up team fights against EDG and beat EDG. So, I don't know, Raz. I feel like they've made a pretty solid statement for themselves. I don't think it's just about the players either. I actually think it's about the infrastructure behind TOP that's also propping them up.
It really does start with the infrastructure, because if you're looking towards organizations like JD, Suning Gaming, and of course TOP, a lot of it started based off the coaching staff, and in this case BSYY. Remember, he brought Dan Gaming into the league to begin with, taking down Vici and putting them into the LSPL. Long history with them, even getting the 1st place in the conference, or the Western Conference at the time, and then left the team to go to FPX, the team they're now facing today. Look at the track record of BSYY. Incredibly important here, because he started off as a jungler for YE Spiders. That was great for him. Then moved as a coaching role for LGD, OMG when they had Uzi on the squad, and then went towards Dan Gaming, 2144 Danmu, when they were in the LSPL, brought them into the LPL, and then was with FPX right after in the next split. I feel like he's had a long career. It's unfortunate that we didn't get the opportunity to really shine a spotlight, which is why today and moving forward into the playoffs, because they're very likely to go. Great opportunity to do so, because he is shaping up to be a legendary coach for the team.
For sure. I think, like, you know, in a lot of people's minds, a lot of what he left on these teams was the cheesy, gimmicky strategies. You think back to Dan Gaming when he were in the LPL, and you think of the 20-minute Barons, you know, and then he moved over to FPX, and you're like, hang on, now they're doing the 20-minute Barons. Is that what he's known for? Is that the only thing that he's bringing to the table?
I think the longevity of it is incredibly important, because in that split, bringing in a 10-man roster for a squad, you had no identifiable players. So many of them just question marks. Moyu, no one knew who he was. Lies, who started out with the team, no one knew. She, as a mid laner, no one knew who he was. So in terms of longevity, he really did push that. Push for a 10-man roster. And then to your point, the Band-Aid solution for a team that, at the time, 3rd place LSPL, shouldn't have been in the LPL, but he pushed them to get to that point based off their 20-minute Barons, going up against his former team, FPX. Game good in the top lane, Alex in the jungle, Cool, LWX, and Chris rounding up the lineup.
And now on this roster with BSYY will be Lies in the top lane, XX in the jungle, Korn in the mid lane, with Chocho and Cat in the bottom lane.
So let's talk a little bit about the team that he's actually coaching, TOP, just the individual players, because we already talked about Moyu, but it's actually going to be Lies starting out the day. I know you love the man because he plays himself some Darius, playing the D himself. So at the time, my theory with how many times he's played Darius, because of course in the meta, playing such a heavy AD top laner we didn't see that much of the Gnar. Allowed them to play a lot more AP bottom lane. So I was like, hey, you know what? It's because they're giving it to him consistently. Darius was an LPL pick. And you know what? Lies gets into the roster and he's like, all right, just give me Darius if Chocho wants to play AP. This time around, things are different. I think he's an R player. I think for him, what he started out with the team as was a consistent top laner, tanks a little bit more often than not.
Yeah.
I think that's when you bring in Lies rather than Moyu, that's what you're expecting. I think we're expecting a little bit more front to back from the team. Chocho to play the hyper carries like the Tristana that he's had throughout the split, and for Lies to go up front and tank a lot of damage. #1 in damage for taken right now in the LPL.
What a stat. What a stat to hold as a top laner,
right? Let me
Why do you have that stat?
Every single bush, I'm face checking it. For you guys, not for me.
But then he's coming out and surviving, because you know, then he's got more time to face check another brush. You know? That's the big thing. Raz, I'm gonna make a bet. If you're willing to put a wager on it.
Oh my goodness, I'm already on a wig bet for LGD.
Yeah, it's the same. I'm on your team, Raz.
Yes, you are.
I'm on your team. But I haven't lost a bet or split. So I'm gonna say if Darius is open, not banned away, and also not taken away, it's available, Lies will pick it up today.
And I will pay for whatever food you have today.
Right.
Sure.
You think he'll move towards a Gnar instead? If he has the availability to go to
No. You're
Darius.
You're going for the Darius. I'm saying literally anything else.
Yeah, no, that's the bet.
There we go.
That's the bet. There we go, folks. There we go. Let's see if it happens as we get into Champion Select. I got Remember Casting today on the Mana Inside. If you want to check that out, it's on Doyo and Panda. But hope you stick with us here on the English broadcast. Bit of rush hour for you. FPX versus TOP. We'll be banning away the Swain, the Yasuo, and the LeBlanc. And on TOP's side, they'll remove the Gangplank, Kindred, and Aatrox.
What is this? Both early game junglers, and you're literally telling them, yeah, you can pick Talia. I don't really mind. It's XX essentially saying that, because it's on TOP to ban the pick, they're saying that we can actually go into it. A lot of the times we've been seeing people give away the Talia saying that we don't actually have faith that you'll run away with your early lead. This is a disrespectful banning phase from TOP, and they're saying actually we're just going to run a Kha'Zix, a Camille, something that we can run at your face and say that you won't have the members with you at the time. I feel like this is an issue that Alex had last time he played Talia, was actually that he would be incredibly aggressive and wouldn't have Gimgoon, Cool, or LWX that they were adjacent lanes when he's invading to actually back him up. It's a good highlight on FPX if they've learned from their mistakes in the past.
Yeah, definitely perma-aggressive, shall we say, in the jungle. TOP on their side, they're locking in the Camille. That can, of course, go to the jungle or the top lane. And then Tam Kench will go into the bottom side as well for Cat. So no bloodthirsty pike for him today. But we will have a Zoe and a Rakan response from FPX here, Raz.
But here's the thing, this is all incredible blind pick champions from FPX. But the risk that you run here is that, Zoe and Talia, incredible first picks, but there is a counter pick into it. Ryze is something that I'm thinking about immediately, is that you can have the gank potential of Camille and Ryze at you. So look for something, if I'm Korn in this instance, to try and bait him into it. It's a surprising factor that they're actually moving into the second phase without picking the Ryze. It means that Korn is a lot more confident in his champion pool, something that we've consistently hit him on. So I wonder what FPX actually start banning. They should just ban mid laners here.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just about Korn's effective champion pool, right? Because, I mean, they banned away the Yasuo there. Remember, he popped off on that champion the other day. Then I also think about his Aurelia, which was shaky to start with, now pretty solid now. I also look towards, you know, his other AD carry picks in mid lane like Talon.
Yeah, ban the Talon. Ban the Ryze. That's all you have to do. Give him the Aurelia and see where the matchup goes, because while that's really oppressive once he starts to get items, he's been making mistakes early on in the laning phase based off that. So I think that FPX, if they want to levy more bans towards him, the Ryze and Talon should suffice.
I think so too. Xayah and Lucian ban out there against LWX, so we're actually going to choose to take away his Orianna in the mid lane. Don't want to go up against that matchup, so there are still, of course, many AD picks to choose from, and I'm thinking, well, if I'm Korn right now, and last time I played Talon, I murdered everyone on the enemy team. I think it was like 10-0 or something. It was a disgusting performance. And we were like, well, I'm probably going to pick that one up, aren't I? There's still many different choices, though.
So he can go through a lot. Talon would make a lot more sense. The problem that he's running with is going for an AD mid laner while they already have their bot lane lined up. Means that their composition is going to be a little bit more awkward if they're not willing to give a top lane something like a Rumble. So you got a line right now is on towards Lies to see if you try and surround out their composition for later on in the game. At the moment, running for a Talon and having full AD isn't a bad thing. Just means that their composition is going to naturally run into a wall at the 40-minute mark.
Just don't get to 40 minutes. That's the solution there, Raz. You know,
Or maybe just go for the AP build on Varus. Let's go! Let's do it! Wrap it on Death Cap!
No, I'd be down for some of that to go for TOP. Of course, this build's still good. We're just seeing most people. That was a great sign, by the way. It's seeing most people just go to that old lethality build. And FPX are going to pick up themselves a Kai'Sa and I've still got 2 or 3 games to go for this. I might lose this round, but
no, there's no such thing. You were talking about this one game.
I think you'll find if you rewind the footage there, Raz. I said
look,
series.
You lose.
I said series, not game.
We don't have a lawyer present, but I'm just putting it out there. I said
on tape, damn it.
I said for certain that it just came down to the fact that the LPL was so focused on a Darius top laner and that Gnar wasn't present until that one series where Kuve demolished Griffin with it and then went on stage, went out to the world and say, Gnar is broken! So Lies is coming back. He's like, hey, now I can actually just not be on perma-Darius status.
Yeah, it feels good, man. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And you were dead on the money there, Raz. It will be Gnar in the top lane into this Mundo matchup. Now, typically, if anyone sniffs a Mundo in the top lane, or Mouse, because, you know, they're one and the same at this point, and they're like, lock me in Darius. Get me in there. If I'm AJ, lock it in anyway. I don't care what the matchup is. Just give it to me. But yeah, here today we're going to get ourselves a Gnar. And just remember that the person sitting next to him on the bench currently, Moyu, is also a Gnar player, right? So it's like, well, Lives, we'll see what you're going to be made of here on stage, playing with the team, with the same pick, essentially. So we've got the common factor here being the Gnar pick.
And this is where really his role starts to come into question. I think that's all LWX here. So, major fact. Actually, cool.
That's not Cool's face, though. It might be all the team.
It could be. It's possible. Highlight on Cool. Now, I'm hearing from my producer. Tomorrow is his birthday. Understanding here. Well, happy, I guess, early birthday to him.
Yep.
Hopefully he can come into that one with a victory.
Yeah,
birthday Eve. Okay, I wish I celebrated a birthday Eve.
Yeah. What would be the Boxing Day of birthdays?
Kickboxing Day.
Kickboxing Day. There you go. Where you kick all the boxes that you opened on your birthday.
This is why I should be in charge of your calendars.
Yeah, just be in charge of birthdays, Raz. Why stop there?
To your earlier point, though, now thinking about it, about the Gnar pick, which seems very much like a Moyu status, because he's going up against the tank top laner in the Mundo. You would expect him to go the, I guess, precision primary and start to split push it out. But Lies is a team fighter.
I know.
I want to see him try and team fight a little bit more, see if the flanks come through with him at talent.
I'd like to see that as well as we get into our first matchup of the day. It's going to be FPX versus Topsports, and we're here in Shanghai. So I'm going to hand it over to the audience. Now, I will say that the FPX crowd always follows them around, and they just have this like core fan base, no matter how they're doing, much like the LGD crowds as well, you know, like no matter how the team is doing in the standings, how they're playing, the fans are always behind them. And you look at TOP, they're definitely the rising star right here, 2nd place in the Western Conference. So they're still building it up.
A lot of the times it's because the fans ends up following the players. One player in particular.
This guy.
Cool. 1,500 kills in the LPL. Now, that's easy to achieve when you have this many games, and the man's been in the LPL since the start. He's been here for so damn long with OMG. True. The history is there for the guy. So check out YouTube after the game, and or at least after the day.
And watch all of his games back-to-back on a marathon.
Every single one of them. If you are an Ahri player, if you're a shifter aficionado, then get into those games, because he loves himself some Ahri when he was playing an OMG.
He does, yeah. Put him in the bot lane. I'm seeing some Ahri down in the marksman position nowadays.
As to Chocho might be a little bit jaded by that. Not really a fan of it.
He was the first one to bring it out, actually, in the LPL.
First one to get railed by.
That's also true. Yeah, but we only really need to mention the first part. Let's take a look at the keystones. We're going to have Talon mid lane running Execute. And it's only going to be Ares, actually, to Lies. So no precision tree. I was expecting maybe he'd go for the press the attack, but no, he's actually gone for Ares.
Usually, Fleet Footwork is the go-to. So Fleet Footwork, of course, giving you the early sustained chase down because of the movement speed. I think the movement speed is the most important one, so you can actually chase him down a longer lane.
Yep.
Going the airy route means that he is still focused on the laning phase, but then moves out and is probably going to turn into a stronger team fighter. So that's what we're looking for here. It seems like Lai is going to go a little bit tankier as the game goes on.
XX looking for a gank into the mid lane. That's going to be a Super Soaker though on Cool. So XX sees the Super Soaker. It's like, I don't really want to get wet today.
Very respectful by Cool. This was going to happen. I mean, knowing that the double counter pick from both Korn and XX was going to happen, and it was aiming for Cool's head, the wave was really mispositioned from his end, so he actually just leaned towards Alex. Alex is fine. Both Alex and Cool here is just really playing it safe to each other as well, so if he got caught out, quote unquote, then it would have actually been Cool who would move towards him, help him out a little bit more.
Yeah.
This is interesting though, of course, sorcery tree first, not the electrocute, so he's going towards, I guess, a bit of more of a movement speed if he ever gets the full pick off. That's going to be interesting to see, so we can chase down X, Korn, but doesn't have the upfront damage that we usually see from Talia.
Yeah, definitely true. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, we're going to have Chocho just running the classic Comet on the bottom side in this Varus. So he's making Kaiser's day a very rough one. Also got Tam Kench there just in case anything goes down, but Chocho's a safe Varus here. 26 farm already to 17 and away, so basically even. So he's already doing a cracker of a job down in the bottom lane.
Yeah, so far TOP picking up really strong early laning phase picks. In the Varus Tom Kench has great poke. People don't really think of the Tom Kench about his poke, but that tongue is long. That's a lick of tongue if I've ever seen one. And it provides the slow, so if Tom Kench ends up leading the charge, gets the slow across, 100% that Q from the Varus is going to follow. So TOP from the Gnar pick versus the tank Mundo, as if there's any other Mundo. Depending on you, you might have an actual separate answer for that one, as you pick probably AP on that champion. I don't know what you do in solo queue anymore.
You actually don't build AP on Mundo because he doesn't have any scaling, but he is good if you build penetration on him.
That's still AP! I'm not saying straight damage, I'm talking about the magic pen boots.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Leandri's Torment.
Oh, LWX is taking a lot of damage. It's a force knock up there from Crisp, and LWX will have to at least pop a potion there. I mean, he's got the Duran shield, but he might want to also go to base. This is another minion wave about to resolve, and this bottom lane is going super well for the TOP side.
Because LWX and Crisp are trying to trade in this matchup, because of course LWX has the fleet footwork, thinks that he can sustain back, but remember going up against such a heavy poke lane, and fleet footwork getting nerfed so consistently, it doesn't really matter all too much. Of course, TPing back, he's still going to TP back on the back foot. So from this point forward, there we go, as he takes that foot back. Should probably relax on that front.
Second time that Alex has gotten away with a bit of smash and grab there. XX has found him, but they're a little too slow on the old smite button. And he's got that one on F, so I hope he remembers that one.
That's too expected with the matchup. Talia should be a lot faster in a lot of these lanes. In fact, one of the core weaknesses that Camille has is her clear speed. Ever since the jungle changed that it's very heavily towards level 2, it takes a lot longer to get to the level 3 mark. Camille's been a popular pick just because of her gank potential, as you saw earlier on, trying to impact the mid lane. So for XX, yeah, he's going to try and farm up, but he's getting pressured pretty heavily by this clearing Talia. So right now, Talia is in a massive CS advantage and trying to press up in these Raptors camps.
I will say the difference between last time I saw Alex on Talia and this time is that his mid lane is actually pushing up. You know, he's actually got a way into the jungle. Last time he didn't, so he walked into the jungle and died. But this time he actually has a way in to be pretty safe because this keeps happening to Korn.
A lot of the weakness that I saw from Alex last time was actually, let's say, 3 minutes in the future when he's trying to press up to a blue buff. He's trying to invade to get enemy blue, and the issue is that Chris, while pushing up in the lane, didn't actually come in to help him. So for the 2 seconds in which he was being ambushed, of course he dies. So this time around, if he's going to challenge for blue buff, then he has to bring in the members and not just rely on them to just have the push, because an ambush is going to be likely, especially for Cat. Cat's the type of player that's going to be like, I'm going to leave you for about 5 seconds as I go help out my jungle.
5 seconds, more like 5 minutes. That guy's crazy.
Yeah, he's a madman.
Yeah, don't mess with Cat. Oh, XX is
seen
going
that
back
tongue?
to bed. Yeah, I've seen
That's a Komodo dragon's tongue. That tongue is going to poison you.
Are Komodo dragons poisonous?
They have so much bacteria in their tongue that if they get you, then yeah, technically it's poison because they don't want that thing.
I actually don't know a lot about Komodo dragons, but I do believe they're doing... Well, there's like... Are they the only animal in the animal kingdom that actually has dragon in their name?
That's true.
Is it true? I'm asking you, because you seem to be the...
No, dragonfly.
Ah, that's true.
But
they
one
can't poison.
thing to point it out is that the one I framed it as a serious point, but what I'm really going to tell you is the way Komodo dragons end up killing their prey. It's a bigger prey because oftentimes, remember, Komodo dragons are actually quite puny in terms of size. They're massive.
Pretty big.
Yes, but I'm talking about in terms of height.
Ah, right.
Height.
Yeah, that's true.
So if they get somebody, if they find a cut, they lick that cut. They bite you, lick you, and guess what? You got an infection, you're gonna die soon. There's no doctor in the animal kingdom.
Wow.
So they actually trace you down. I remember watching this documentary. They just hunt, they just walk, find you. The moment you die, you're like, all right, I got some free meat. And
Wait,
that's
so they just like, they lick them and then they sniff them down when they've died from old age, essentially. That's the worst way of being a predator I've heard ever.
That's effective.
It is effective, but it's just like,
way.
hang on, let me bite them, lick them, and wait for 3 weeks for them to die.
It doesn't take that long.
I feel like it would. TOP are going to get themselves a dragon. I don't know if they're going to kill it in the same way. One's just found himself an exhaust. This is going to hurt a lot. Yeah, going to have to cleanse out of that one in the mid lane.
Now, Corrin thought he had a way out. Of course, buffering his E through the turret. But Cool just held on to his paddle star naturally. So he's like, I guess I'm cleansing, except I got hit anyways, so my cleanse is useless. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it was a bit of late decision making, unfortunately, in the mid lane. But
Zoe's
Zoe's been feeling pretty good about the pickups from minions. They've had a Super Soaker and a Proto Buff, but feeling less good about the fact that she's now facing an Ultimatum in the mid lane, and that was just big corn. Yeah, he's going to be feeling pretty good about that one, you know, being slapped in the face constantly by Zoe all the way through the laning phase, and then gets a kill.
Yeah, waving the white flag just because that was very well set up from Cat. Even though Cat did absolutely nothing and didn't get an assist from it, it's just the...
he bit him and he licked him.
Well, yes, but it was the insurance strategy. You didn't know how many members were there if he's up against a better team. Let's say in a situation he's going up against EDG, they would have a support that's in the area. They would have a jungler in the area. They would be ready because Cool is pushing up. That's a very unsafe situation for Cool. So against better teams, you'd be thinking that Cool would be communicating that he needs the help to at least have him to push. But
Yeah.
TOP got a free kill and only really expended the Tom Kench ultimate just in case FPX played it properly. They didn't. So I was like, I guess I used my ultimate, but again, against a better team, I'm going to continue to do that anyways.
Yeah, and I remember we've had this conversation a couple times, Raz, and it's just like sometimes, you know, you turn up, you don't really get anything, but it's about being in the right place at the right time, because if you do, then sometimes you get rewarded, and then you look like a god. This time, we're actually just bringing the whole family here. It's just like, well, what did you say about my mid laner? We're going to send you packing. Didn't get the kill, but we're still feeling pretty good. My god, he completed that. All right, Cat. Bit of a madman. He's going to continue that teleport to the mid lane, but remember, that was an unsealed spell book, so it's a bit of a throwaway for old Cat.
And remember, he has exhaust immediately afterwards too, so just finishing your teleport with the wave thinning out, I think it's a safe call just for a Tom Kench here. It's one of those situations where FPX all in on a dive, the execution failed, and if they would have waited a little bit longer, then you get in that Monka-esque situation if you're FPX of like, how long are we really committing to this dive? And that's usually how teams fail.
Yeah,
so
yes,
they just backed away when the TP finished out.
Yes, indeed. How's the bot lane doing? Because remember, we checked in at the start and they were not doing so hot, but I think since then, Cat's been more roaming about the map than he has been helping his AD carry. So actually, in the end, we have this Kai'Sa catching up, only about a wave and a half behind. Chocho, though, he's already got his makings, presumably a Ghost Blade or Just Blade Direct File, whichever route he wants to go to. Also picked up a tier alongside that with his perfect timing Snotwatch. Actually, 3 of those on the side of TOP, important to note.
Yeah, so all of them being activated post 8 means that you can just run through a lot more plays. One thing to make note of, as this is about to come... Oh no!
Oh
Bad
boy,
timing!
that's going to be Shadow Assault and Core running away. He's got the redemption coming down courtesy of himself. But Core low, he will have to flash away from this one. The ultimatum comes down late out from XX, which is absolutely perfect timing for him. That's going to be another kill to TOP.
Alright, he thought he could outplay that situation, but what the hell is happening with FPX? I thought they would be getting better throughout the weeks, but it's just essentially Cool pushing out with no help in the vicinity. In about 100 miles, there's nobody.
Yep.
He had no friends, so even if that play happened for about, let's say, 10 more seconds, it would just be him alone. So it's just a weird situation where you expect Zoe to be getting the push on towards Corn here, and it's happening, but Alex is not in the area where he was for the first, what, 7 minutes of the game.
It's actually the inverse of the problem that they had last time. It's like Cool's actually getting caught out being too far pushed up, whereas Alex was the one who was pushed up without help when he was invading. So yeah, Cool really just pushing just too far up, and that's now opened up potential. That being said, for FPX to move towards the Herald here on back timings.
A lot of that is just, it's one of the same problems. It's literally just a communication block from Cool, Alex. You could even say the same for maybe him and Chris, depending on who's supposed to take ownership of helping out through the wave. So, last time around was Alex pushing in, looking for jungle invades without having the help or calling for the help. This time around, Cool not doing the same. Of course, these are all assumptions being made, but the result is very clear. I mean, at the end of the day, if he communicated it and then pushed up anyways without no help, you lose out. The fight's gonna happen. He should be aware of that. He's just taking multiple risks, and because of that, is farther behind than they should be at this point.
Yeah, it's not a bit unfortunate for them. But again, I feel like, you know, every time I watch an FPX game, you know, I cast them on stage and I'm just like, FPX, great late game fighting team. You know, I always feel like they have a good team fight when you hit the like 30-40 minute mark. And now, if you look at this team from TOP, we're saying, well, this is primarily like AD focused as well. So later you go onto the game, maybe they hit that Brett core into, you know, a Dr. Mundo who's been armor stacking. That's when FPX win, but it's actually getting to that point is the difficult part. And I feel like this early game, there's been a couple cracks. That being said, so far at 40 minutes into the game, it's only about, you know, 1,000 gold advances to TOP plus an Infernal. So it's not going to be the end of the world just yet.
Look at this. This is a really bad wave for Cool, but he's about to get sandwiched because he knows it's going to happen. Yep.
Yeah, he walked over, he placed over the wards, instant cleanse comes through, but Cool might kill him by himself. Shadow Assault, and XX isn't even needed.
What do you do? I'm about to ask every single one of you guys in Twitch chat, what do you do? They're going to stay there forever. They know that he's alone.
Make it easy for him, Raz. Give him option 1 and 2.
Call for friends! You have a hotline.
Okay, that's option 1. What's option 2? Die?
Yeah.
Option 2 is die. So 1 for call for friends, 2 for die.
It's like if you are literally playing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, you're about to have that $1 million question.
They already hit 50-50.
And they don't only give you, they're telling you there's only one option, and it's call a friend.
Well, maybe pressing 2 on the bot lane as well, but here comes Talia. Cat take a lot of damage from the tower. He's just going to simply die. Took 1 too many.
Really well done here. The TP being cast. I love that. Of course, the dive went across properly, but was successful. That meant a lot. TOP would actually be able to move Chocho mid lane and start really crashing the turrets. And we've seen how quickly the turrets end up dying after the first one goes down with the Varus composition, at least the lethality Varus. Last time I was able to see it, you see every outer turret falling around like 3 minutes after that one fact, because when you free up your siege mid.
Oh boy, ultimatum into the mid lane, giving time for Korn to catch up. That being said, it's going to be a lot of return fire. Here comes the teleport. LWX falling through the plasma, but Cool's going to get it by himself. A little too far for the TOP jungler.
Yeah, they weren't even trying that time. Feels like they were so confident it was going to be successful. It was like, they didn't even tell Talon he was coming. He's like, I'm just diving.
I'm just going to kill him
it's
anyway,
just working too easily.
It's unfortunate because that's a fresh kill over to Cool in the mid lane. He's got himself a flash off of that play. Chris comes into the mid lane looking for that knock-up. Korn with the return. Not going to be a kill, but it will be a tap off to the side as the jungler's going toe-to-toe. Just kidding, it's a Gnar.
It bought TOP a lot of time. Take a look at when the next wave is coming. That's going to be about, what, 20 seconds of more setup time? So using his ulti just so he can push them off the tower saves TOP a lot. Turns into a negative trade for FPX, actually. Even though they got a kill on XX, bottom lane tower is down. We were talking about how important that is now, that now Chocho can move mid lane and start chipping at this mid lane tower. So while it looks good for FPX and they were going for the mid lane tower, they're going to lose a tower of their own unless if they start utilizing LWX incredibly early on.
That's true, but that being said, you know, this is a good mid-game composition. You got Chocho at his first item spike, same thing in the mid lane. Also that Tiamat, the boots of mobility. There's people who hit real hard on the TOP lineup, and that will be happening for the next 5 to 10 minutes, especially when they hit those 2 items as well. So FPX are going to have to be watching their back. Night.
Right up in the air. That's some next level parkour.
Yeah.
That's actually when you reach parkour zen,
where you can sleep while parkouring.
Yeah, there we have it.
Incredible.
Level 7 of parkour.
Yep, those arrows are hurting, and they will continue to hurt.
We don't get a lot of games as of late where you see double lethality picks, both bottom lane. So the expectation with this composition is usually it starts to finish off around the 25, 26 minute mark, because TOP should start really amping it up. Baron is going to be a real issue from 20 minutes on, so for that 5 minutes of setup time, it's going to be essentially FPX trying to get past the 500 area to try and contest for vision around this place, but it's going to be super difficult, and it's going to be incredibly reliant on Crisp to get the strong ultimates from Rakan.
Yeah. Well, indeed, otherwise they'll continue to lose objectives. Yeah, that was 2 dragons so far. TOP actually giving an attempt over to Herald. But Shelly's at the edge of her patience. She's at the farthest reaches of home.
Really exploring.
If anyone annoys her, she's going to go back home. But no, we're good. XX is going to get himself the Eye of the Herald. And Korn, he's waiting for a victim. Because he's like, hey, does anyone want a red buff? Cool.
Anyone?
Oh, he's thinking about it.
Slaps red buff. This thing right here. This red buff.
Uh-oh, here's the Talon. Instant flash away, but he's bleeding out. Gets a bit of diplomacy from Noxus, but he will be healed in the end. Shelly's going to be dropped in the mid lane, though. That's a dead tower.
Let me tell you about how this game is a strict 4v5.
Tell me, Raz.
It's a 4v5. Cool cannot play the game. He's trying really hard. He wants to say that there are peripheral issues, but really, it's the issues of who's running at him in his peripherals.
Yeah.
People just ransacking him. Korn is the major problem here in this game. I don't know how Cool can play.
Yeah, it's pretty sad when you're rotating within your own jungle, pretty far back, mind you, from the inner tower to mid lane, and you still get caught by a Talon. It's pretty absurd. Well, Korn has really been finding those single places where he can just hide in the shadows. If he could hide in the base, he would.
He would. He'd do it. Right now, his goal is not so much to kill his target, but to make them mute. Make them non-effective in the next fight. And so a tower was taken. Sure, you didn't get the kill on Cool, but he couldn't help out in defending mid lane tower. And the longer the game goes on, the price is going to be pretty damn high. So now you're going to be about Baron. Now you have to go farther out of your base to go to Baron. And what if there's a silly Talon sitting in that bush? And yes, it's silly.
Yep. 2. That's what happens.
2.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it is 2.
Yep, 2. Yeah. Option die.
He should try. I think at this point, if he goes with option 1, he still loses. That's how far they're harmed.
Yeah. That's why you got to choose option 1 way earlier. Who wants to be a millionaire? You don't get another shot.
You don't play
when you get the answer wrong
midway through the show.
No. Maybe you do. You're really lucky, but
that's true.
That's not going to happen a second time. LWX is in the top lane. And what's that? There's a Talon there. He's always hunting for a squishy. And to be fair, there's a lot of squishies on this FPX lineup, so everyone's a victim.
And FPX cannot deal with 1-3-1s or side lane situations. Mondo wants to group. Zoe wants to group. LWX wants to group. So at this point, I mean, there are some times where you can say Akaisa wants to nail someone down in a side lane. This is not that kind of game.
No, it's not the time.
Especially with him not being able to finish his Guinsus this point on when 2 items have already been completed by Chocho. So right now, they all want to be in the same place at the same time, and they're being strewn across the map.
Yeah, it's not great. Yeah, TOP are really making the most of their mid-game power spike. Korn's even going to park over the wall because he knows the Tam Kench is there, so he's got safety. Though he will get flicked. Come on, Tam Kench, give me a save. He's going to go off to the left, but he was actually seeing if he could still find a kill. Now he's getting chased down, Pebble. But Cat's going to get the save. He's going to parkour over the Talia wall. This is going to be a big ultimate coming in from Chris. That's 1 kill over to them, and they found themselves a catfish.
I mean, they just got 2 kills right beside Baron, 21 minutes of the game. There's only 1 response here, and they're currently doing it.
Uh-oh, that's going to be a teleport coming in from Lions, but he's a mini-nah. He's not very angry right now, so he's going to back away, though that might be enough actually to dissuade the FPX lineup.
Yeah, they could have waited a little bit longer. They thought they could get the knock-up. It would have turned into another kill. It would have turned into where the Baron rush once again. So, well job from Lions to get out of that situation. Just burn their time. I mean, it was only really 1 teleport here. And just take a second look at this, because Korn is what started all of this. Tries to go in for another kill. Walks up forward. That's the one thing that I'm really questioning, because now he's behind enemy lines. but all of FPX are trying to get any opportunity back into the game, and they just turned into him.
It's like, you literally have Tam Kench on there. Jump in the catfish bus, and you're gonna be fine. I don't know why I haven't called it that before, by the way.
Oh yeah, you could have.
Cat bus.
Yeah.
Catfish bus, yeah.
Well, they do need a skin for that.
They do.
Yeah.
I feel like we come up with a lot of good skin ideas on this broadcast, Raz, but we never get listened to.
We just need more Tam Kench players out there.
That's true, yeah. We had more Tam Kench players. That being said, Alawi got a skin a little while back.
It took a long time for her to have another skin.
That's true.
And her other skins were just ugly. And I'm still pretty damn sad.
It wasn't Deep Space.
Well, Deep Space was bad.
That's a lie. That's a big lie.
The Explorer one was fabulous.
That was top notch.
That was too good.
And I was being told, I remember in the article, it was just like, yeah, the majority of Malawi players really wanted the Battlecast. And I'm like, huh. And I went to the Alawi Mains Discord channel. I said, hey folks, which one did we want? We were like, Deep Space. We were like, what did we get? Not Deep Space. I was like, oh, interesting.
I voted.
I voted, of course I voted.
No, I'm just saying, because I never played Alawi, and I voted.
Yeah.
I mean, I played one game with her, and I was like, this is hell.
Which one did you vote for, the Explorer one?
Yeah.
That's still fine. That's still okay.
I think people just didn't want to see Alawi be played, so they chose the wrong skin.
Ah, that's true. They just annoy the Alawi population.
Yeah.
So stop Alawi players from playing at all. That is thinking with portals. Oh. I think for now, I mean, Cole's been thinking with portals all game, because he's Zoe. But TOP, do you feel like they've stalled out, Raz? Because I feel like they've gotten a lot of objectives. You know, they're 3 towers right now, they're 3 dragons, they've got a bunch of kills, but I'm not seeing a Nexus dead. And you said, you know, we start to peak around the 25-minute mark, and I'm looking at double lethality items.
Hey, the mistake happened. We know what mistake happened. Look, the biggest issue was the cost of that, because Tam Kench not having flash. You look towards Lies, teleporting back in to stop the Baron means that he's bottom lane not able to really provide any 5v5, 4v4 pressure. So he's just going to be sitting here constantly on edge. So they're not going to start Baron without their top laner really in the play. So TOP definitely got stalled out. And it's going to take some time. I would say about 2 minutes. 2 minutes is a long time. TOP is going to really be sad about that. It really gave time for LWX to finish and to complete his core items. So this is when you start sweating. TOP cannot make another mistake, just the nature of their composition.
That being said, you know, they're very, very strong still. So, yeah, mistake is difficult to make, given they are very strong. I mean, Tan's going to one-pop literally anyone in this composition who isn't Talia because he has his own Zalgas. I guess Zoe at this point because of the same reason. Right, I guess Kaiser because it also has stopwatch.
All I want, Talent to go straight towards GA. That's all I want. And start off with a stopwatch too, because he couldn't get it with his rune page. So as long as he gets that, even if he makes a mistake, it's salvageable from his team. Right now he's gone towards another lethality.
Yeah, I saw him do that.
I'm sad about that.
That's the opposite of what you asked for.
100%. Just go for the BF sword if you want that. Please get a GA. Because they just need that insurance policy of being able to dive further into the composition and then just not die, which he did last time around, or at least he was real damn close to.
He was taken out of the fight, and that's essentially the same thing in that situation.
And allowed his own team to die.
That's true. Yeah, but he's like, well, I've got double lethality items, but I want to kill them harder.
And just
so
take a look at
another one.
How fragile their comp is, because I was expecting Lies because he went towards the Airy to go straight towards like a tank build after
I don't see a tank item for 78 North Core miles, Brad.
The later the Rune King. The man is actually going full split and carry, even though he didn't go towards the fleet footwork. So, yeah, LWX noticed, he pressed tab. He knows what option he could take here. Gimgoon is just baiting them. Fight me.
Unfortunately, he's not the best bait. If you put Mundo at the end of a fishing rod, no fish would come biting.
They would think about it, you know?
Would
they would look at it. It's like, this is enticing.
Ah, that was the wrong alley to walk into right there, Chris. But he's going to be ticking down, but he's still alive somehow. Alex and Cool with the save.
My goodness. And he's at least out of the fight, so it's effective no matter what. If you're TOP, you know that Crisp is going to base. You can actually look for another bait here. It can't be a Baron run because they don't have a fast enough Baron push for it, but please, anything? At least they burned a blue trinket. At least they got that.
Yep. He's caught him on his way to the convenience store. He's just going out for some eggs and some bread. You know, the essentials. And 3 people jumped him! He's still alive. You know, he's just went to the hospital. He's fine now. He's back to full health.
It's gonna keep happening. You know what a fun stat is here?
What's
stat
that, Raz? Last time you told me the highest damage taken was...
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever be able to top that one. Yeah. But this one's just gonna be about the supports of the battle. You know, Cat, #1 at wards cleared. That's currently what's happening.
I thought you were gonna say like most
Crisp.
deaths in roll.
No, I need that one though. Yeah. Crisp, #2 at wards placed, control wards placed. So you can see that was one of his many ventures. Wow.
Yeah.
They just all abandoned the top side for that.
That's
They
a rotator.
Like, we had great vision around Baron. How about we lose it all for this tower? You didn't have to.
A rotation. That is also a potato play. It's a rotator. And that's what TOP just did there, as FPX will now take full control of the Baron and teleport onto it and start it. Look for the burst down. Teleport over the wall coming here from TOP. XX is looking at this blast cone. He does have an exit. Looking for a round trip right here. Can Camille do it? Because it will have to be a steal. But Chris with the lockup! That will be Zoe securing Baron. FPX right now look towards a second prize of a golden Camille. Take that one to the bank.
What is this game, Pulse? They gave it, at least they have to stand their ground. TOP wants a fight, but the Mundo's coming in.
Oh, and they've walked up right into the FPX trap. Cool's going to be buying some time. Korn off to the side. Gimgoon pushing forwards into 2, but no one can deal with this Mundo. He's gone golden as well. The backline's a disaster. Korn actually wins the fight, but Gimgoon is out of there. Chocho does not land a kill. As that throws some pebbles over the wall, he'll get the kill.
You know, they want the last one. Ah, no, they ain't gonna get it though. Talon's off to a run. This is an insane game. What the hell happened bottom lane? They were like, we have such fantastic vision. Teleport's about to be up for our man. Let's just go out and run bottom lane for a bottom lane tower. So FPX, not only do they siege control around the Baron side, they just outright go for it. They have a Kaisa. This is a quick run for it. So, I mean, really well done from FPX. It only just got better by the bait from Gimgoon because they were on the wrong side of the map. All Gimgoon had to do was wait it out. He was like, all right, you're all in the right spot. How about I run at your faces and press ult?
I guess I was wrong, Raz. If you put a Mundo at the end of a fishing rod, indeed the fishes will bite. 4 of them at the same time. Korn did manage to win the fight at the side onto Cool, but unfortunately, everyone else in his team lost their own respective battles, and Gimgoon even with the dodge and the hail of arrows at the end.
It is a massive wave. They should just ride it on towards the inhibitor tower. It's really a question onto whether TOP can clear it out. Varus, maybe, but the rest of them cannot. It has to be a fight being made by TOP, any way to push them off, and honestly at this point, Gimgoon is just too large.
Yep. I feel like I can use Call Dom right now and see if this is a good wave. He is the surfing master in the team.
Stellar wave.
Yeah, this is a big one, that's for sure. I'm sure you can get a lot of good
Keep riding
rides.
Ride that wave. Hang 10, as Dom would say. Hang loose, brother, as Dom also would say.
Yeah, he says that every single day.
Cha, brother.
Yeah, he never stops saying that one as well.
Sometimes I wish he wouldn't.
I know, just never stops. It's really annoying, I live with him. And FPX, what a ride. They rode that wave all the way into the inhibitor. That was 2 towers and inhib, and that's triple cannons as well.
And what we see from that is the attitude that TOP has into that one. They're like, all right, we can't fight you. I thought the line would get drawn around the inhibitor tower because of course they would ride it fully through. But even TOP is saying, we cannot fight you. We're going to play it safe here. We have to play a creative game now to try and assassinate your carries because nobody wants to touch that Mundo. Mundo is simply too large and we do not have a front line right now.
So if Cat on this Catfish is the Catfish bus, and TOP, they're all driving dummies, and FPX are the wall, how close is the car to the wall, Raz?
I mean, I wish you would have asked me that question about 3 seconds ago because all of those crash test dummies are currently just disassembled.
Right, I see.
All on the ground.
So they've already hit the wall is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Now,
is there any chance of recovery?
I just said I can't find the leg.
Can
they walk
can the
around
dummies
legless?
get back up? Can we use them again?
If they can walk around with their hands, sure.
Okay. They're going to have to... I feel like they maybe get one more shot this game, Raz, and that might be around the monster objective, might be a fight, but Currently, this composition has definitely come online. If you're FPX, you've got a big tank in the front line. Triple items right now on that Mundo.
Look, we're about 33 minutes into the game. Bottom lane inner tower inhibitor has been taken. We're at a clear point where, yeah, 1-1 team fight. A team fight that's victorious for FPX should just be a game win. They should just be playing this one slow. They shouldn't try and force anything top lane. They know that the bottom lane inhibitor is going to be facing some damage. I mean, it's already gone, but I mean just the Nexus tower itself.
Uh-oh, they're in the open.
What
They're turning up to 190 degrees Celsius. Oh, they're backing away from this one. That's not a wall XX, but they will turn themselves onto Gimgoon. He's popped his own ultimate, but he can't burst him. Cat, he's gobbled something, but he's got indigestion. He pops it back out again. Well, it's going to be a lot of damage coming from XX. Finally will be the kill, but that's all of TOP's resources. Killer Instinct from LWX. The shotgun comes up big. It's going to be a kill for that one. Chocho backing away, but he is low himself. LWX, he was hungry for more. He reloaded, but it's not going to be another one in the end. But nice kill to FPX. Uh-oh, he's going to sleep. More cleanse out of it.
So there are enough members here from FPX to stay on this tower just simply because their Nexus tower from TOP is taking damage from the inhibitor, or at least from the minions themselves. LWX shouldn't get caught here. Just stay on the map, stay healthy. I guess Nar is actually keeping that wave tended to, so you might want to get out of there.
Yeah, he's a botanist in his spare time, a gardener. He's good at tending to those CS crops. He'll clear those one away. He'll farm that one right up. But in the end, FPX, still very good push from them. They took the top tower, they took a good fight. And that top inhib tower on this last leg essentially isn't even there. So FPX just doing really well for themselves.
This game just turned on its head, just like that. And that's the risk of having double lethality, let me tell you. Double lethality, and in this case, of course, with no tank. You just really are on a time limit. And if you make that one error, everything goes to a wayside. So this is technically one of the perfect compositions. You're like, oh, we have a great laning phase. We have a great comp around sieges. Our early game is stellar. We should win this game because all of our matchups are excellent. Let's play it. Let's go. I mean, it's successful in scrims. And you get into this one, you're like, well, one error.
Bummer.
Nice. Now you got to find a way to play around a Gimgoon that's literally always sticking with the team. In fact, the only person that isn't is a Kaisa all the way bottom lane taking Krug. Get the hell out of there.
I mean, this is a Mundo dream, pretty much. He's like into a full AD cut. The only way this could be better for a tank player is if he's Rammus. But even then, you'd probably still want to be Mundo. He's actually just unkillable. And he hasn't gone back in a long time as well. I was thinking the other day, there's actually a lot of Champions League legends you actually just forget exist.
Yep.
You know, because there are just so many of them. And I was thinking, like, Rammus, haven't seen Rammus in years.
Oh, that's true.
Vi? Who's seen a Vi for forever?
I see her every single time I'm in Champion Select, hover over Vi, and be like, nah.
Nah, not today.
Nah. Not happening.
We had Pool Party Vi on our analyst yesterday. That was great.
That's true.
I've never really seen one in game, though. So, sad boys. Got a lot of great skins. But not really in the meta, is she? TOP, though, how are they doing? They're actually pushing into the jungle. They're actually managed to push up a fair old distance, and I feel like this is the one shot, the one opportunity. Palms are sweaty.
And the fact that LWX teleported here means that they want to press this pretty quickly. Knowing that Nars teleport bottom lane, FPX can start the Baron now and force TOP essentially to play this game, a team fighting game, one that they've been losing throughout the entire game here.
Alright, let's rumble, because Killer Instinct, we found ourselves an XX. He's down into the 3 count. He's back up, he's back down. Call it, time of death. 36 minutes, 22 seconds. Corn over the wall, he's looking for Assassinate onto Cool, but he is too well with the pack. He called a friend, went for the 50-50. He got the answer right on this one.
Completely scattered. TOP tried to group around it, but then you saw the Camille getting caught out. All of them just looking towards Lies on a proper TP moment, but of course it's not going to happen after you lose your Camille, so no smite opportunity there. FPX are playing this one out really well after finding their way back into the game. It's really unfortunate for TOP. At this point, it feels unwinnable. You could even... The one opportunity I gave you, Pulse, I said...
Yep.
At least be creative and find an assassination opportunity in FPX. And even LWX has built in the Zonias. He was like, nah, I'm going to join my AP brothers.
Yep.
Triple Zonias. Try and assassinate us now.
It's like, do you want to recon? Because that's the only person you can kill right now.
Yeah. A Rakan who can just whisk away into the back. Forgotten. Double E's. Like, you see me, now you don't. Bye-bye.
And that's the problem. You know, Korn had his time. We saw him when he was in the enemy jungle. He was looking for those constant assassinates. Looked great. But ultimately, when you have a double lethality composition with Nah, who's built for split push, I mean, how are you going to do it in late game? You're not meant to hit this stage in the game. We literally said it in Champions League, didn't we, Raz? We were like, don't get to 40 minutes. And right now we're 3 minutes away from that one.
That's one Zhonya's.
The assassinate. One Zhonya's down, but he's been taunted up. This is going to be the last ditch attempt right now, but
two.
XX is already dead. Great ultimate coming from Lies, but there is no damage. Chocho is on the wrong side of this fight. Lies running for dear life right now. He grabs back Ares, puts him in the backpack as he looks to run away. Turned around with the wallet once more, but that will be a pebble taking him down. 3 kills, FPX.
That was the attempt we were looking for, but guess what? Cool and Alex say we're going gold. We cannot be touched, and now they're going straight for the game. I don't know if they can. They can't be stopped. I'm just gonna answer it right there.
FunPlus Phoenix. They came out today. The Caspian Rain takes down another, and the fans are out in force. And boy, did they pick a good day, because they just took game 1 against Topsports.
Unreal performance there from FPX, and it was all on one decision. 3 people bottom lane, taking down an inner tower with Tom Kench. I guess that's a mighty fine Baron. Clear it out. Honestly, TOP expected that. They said we're taking that trade. We're taking, you know, clear jungle around top side for our bottom lane tower. So we have a split pusher bottom lane. And the gambit is that we can come back top, clear out vision again with the control wars we've really freshly purchased. And then wait a minute, Baron's gone. Well, there goes that.
I called for a cat bus, not an int bus. That's what we got into the bottom lane. No one needs to click on cat. No one needs to join him in his endeavor to the bot lane tower to do nothing. But I don't remember who it was, to be honest.
It was the Varus.
It was the Varus.
It was a point where...
Raz, that was the opportunity for us only to blame one person.
Look, so bringing it... No. So bringing in the Varus is like, we're guaranteeing this tower. And that's the decision. That's a gambit you don't have to make when you have that kind of a goal lead. So really early on, the highest goal lead they had was 4K. Composition was really strong. So even if you look at the goal lead, with that kind of composition, 2 items ahead with lethality builds. You are so far ahead compositionally that you should be able to just get picks after pick, just waiting on Varusol to come through. And I mean, BSY is upset. He's like, I can't draft this composition for you anymore. Because people are going to go back and they're going to blame that comp saying you have no tank, you have double lethality AD, Mundo's going to come in 30 minutes, but that shouldn't even be an issue had they played their comp properly. So now they do need an insurance policy. Now going to game 2, you're not going to draft that comp because you're like, we need insurance. We can't go out uninsured. So that's just unfortunate. I'm upset. I'm unhappy.
Yeah, that was the problem. I mean, ultimately, we had a bus. We put all the crash dummies in it.
Yep.
They hit a wall.
That's what they're made for, by the way.
Yeah, but they still need to win a game. that's the problem, Raz. And you're right. No, I looked at the composition. I actually quite like double lethality item like glass cannon comps because they can work. Because they can blast you in the mid game. You don't even go past 30 minutes. Even if you get 20, you know, it's like 25 minutes is your spike. You might even just finish the game before that, right? Because you are so powerful. But as you said, that one mistake, actually 2 mistakes, I think, were the big ones. But the first mistake really put them behind where they had to catch up again.
Yep, so the Bandits of FPX getting away with a heist, that robbery of a game 1. Feels like going to game 2, there's still an expectation that TOP is much better. They just smashed Cool in game 1, by the way. That was really unhealthy from what we saw. So 100% TOP going into this one are going to probably change things up in draft, have a communication around like how their team fights play out. I think FPX coming into this one, even though it's going to be 5 minutes in between series, so there's not really that much of a discussion you can have between communicating with your mid lane and jungle. The best thing they can try and go for is, at the very least, I would say, first step, take Alex off of Talia. I think that the early pressure that they've been having is not being effective, and if you find yourself that late in the game, you should probably go into team fight mode. I know you've been liking FPX's team fights, and in this case, the team fight's what won them the game. The early blind picks of the top side, while great, there was no synergy there. They weren't communicating. So the early laning phase was just getting smashed when it felt like they could have been a lot better through mid lane jungle.
Yeah, I feel like FPX are like old BLG, right? where it's just like they identified that they just don't have a laning phase, or actually just the first half of the game.
Yeah.
But then you have incredible team fights, and who really cares if that's a win on the board at the end of the day? You know what I'm saying?
Was BLG just, they picked for that. They're like, this is what we are as a team. FPX are trying to be early game.
Yeah, I know.
They're trying to actually play around that. It's just
it's an
genuine mistakes that they're making just as a core lineup. So I'm trying to say, yeah, I want them to be a BLG. I'm like, great, for this split, you're so late into it that you really can't work on your early portions of the game. You're trying to slip into 4th place, so try and slip in and be proud of what you're good at. You said team fight. I think their team fight's good just because they're genuinely great players individually. Yeah. So when they get to that point, you can see styling out that they didn't later on in the game 1. So I felt like if you can find a way to slow down the game, LWE style, maybe you can get a game 2.
And imagine if they drafted for team fights as well. But it seems like, as you said, they're just great players. And yes, you have players who I would say are inconsistent, but when they hit real hard. And I think one of those players is LWX. You know LWX is going to pick up our man of the match as well. Congratulations to the shotgun of FPX.
He sees
on his Kaiser play. 506. Yeah, he sees you very well.
80%.
Feels like there should be a monocle right there, you know?
I'm going to round it up to 80%, by the way.
Give him a monocle.
Kill participation. Because what he saw were free kills as the game gone on. The most impressive part of that one was literally when he found the Talon, chased them up after he hopped over the wall. Really well played from him individually when they were playing around Barons.
Yeah.
And while throughout the comp, there's no way you're winning. There's no way TOP is ending up a win in that game after the Zhonya is being built, and the FPX understands that they just need to group at that point. But it felt like LWX mechanically played that one out well as the game closed out. So good job to him. And in the laning phase, you didn't completely fall through. I felt like laning phase wasn't that bad, and his team fights were excellent.
Yeah, I think so too. You know, it's a sorry state of affairs when the Kaiser is running down your talent. You know what I mean? It's probably at that point where you're just like, /FF, let's move ourselves onto the second game. Because unlike Europe and unlike NA, we're the best of 3 regions. So just end it, go out fighting, do it with Rogue Warriors, do whatever, and just get us into the next game. Because that's really what matters, trying to come for that comeback win. Because again, TOP, top of the leaderboard right now, you know, 2nd place in the Western Conference. They definitely have a way to try and win this series.
100%. I think TOP, if I'm looking back at what they're good at as a team, what they've showcased when they took down EDG, Snake, a lot of big names in the Western Conference, not even talking about the games that they took off of in the Eastern Conference, that this team is really well coordinated as a 3-man unit bot side. Chocho, Cat, XX. I know really going into the early portions of the show, I was highlighting their top side just in the early laning phase, but how they move through their bottom lane, how Cat is really co-synced with XX is a great style for the team. And they've only really lost games recently.
That's true.
Just in the laning phase. I think right now they're in a 4-game win streak. This could be their 4 series, I mean.
Yes.
This could be their 5th series. Just based off the fact that strong team fighters in Chocho and Cat, and just great individuals of Moyu and Korn. So it's going to be a good opportunity to see if Lies can continue on his path.
It will, absolutely. You know, maybe look for a different top name, maybe look for a swapping with Moyu, maybe even look towards the bottom side, go back to Comfort as well. You know, we had Cat in the bottom lane. He didn't go for his signature pike, he went for a Tam Kench. Anyway, we're going to go for a quick break. We'll see what the team comes up with during this break. We'll come back in just a few minutes.
我凤凰的精神就是不畏挑战，燃烧青春。